Rewind to 2014 May. There was a sense of hope amongst lakhs of stuck home buyers across the country who were promised a corruption-free government, a promise of bringing the guilty to task and a relief from their misery. Fast forward to now. There are still 4,20,000 housing units stuck across India with people's life savings sunk into them. What happened? For the first time, we saw a regulator for India's housing industry, which is RERA. We got a much sharper Benami Act. We got equal privileges to bankers for home buyers in the Insolvency Act. Yet the homes are nowhere near completion. Is it that the wheels of justice are grindingly slow? Or was there a lack of political will to resolve the pain of the middle-class home buyer because he is not a big voter base? Welcome to Urban Reality, Election 2019 special, where we focus on what the urban voter wants. And in this case, the voter with stuck homes who's threatening to opt for Nota, the none of the above option as he or she goes to the polls is the answer. Is that the answer? Or do we need more from the new elected leaders? Joining me to answer those questions, Abhishek Dubey, corporate lawyer and a JP home buyer, Vivek Tyagi, President Unitech Anthea Home Buyers Association, Sameer Jasuja, he's the founder and CEO of Prop Equity, and Sunil Tyagi, senior partner, ZS Law. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me. Abhishek, what happened? I mean, I almost thought, and we have been through the JP resolution process, same to same story, though in your case, things have moved to NCLT. Where are you now, and where have the disappointments been? Where have been victories also under this government?
Yeah, so basically, I think that government started on with a good note when they, declared home buyers as financial creditors. So when we filed it in the Supreme Court and the case was going on in the Supreme Court, in the middle, government declared home buyers as financial creditors. So we were then back to NCLT, and it was, and the case is taking good shape at NCLT.
Are you happy with the way things have panned out in the JP resolution? Because you have 25,000 home buyers stuck in that. Perhaps the largest single group of home buyers stuck. Yeah,
so not really happy because we are still fighting, right? So this government came in 2014 and we are at the same place, so we are still fighting. And the good thing that has happened is that there is a Sarkari bidder, NBCC, there is a Sarkari financial creditor, IDBI, and Noida is also Noida Authority is also Sarkari, so they could have done something very swiftly, which they have not done. So this is a very good opportunity now for the government because the bidders is also NBCC and they have got NBCC to bid for it. We are waiting for the revised bid. It has taken quite long. It's already been 4 weeks. So if the revised bids come, it can be resolved very quickly because only 30-40 days are left for the 270-day period to get completed.
So things have moved, but not as fast as home buyers would have liked to.
Yes.
Let me come to now Unitech, which is another curious story where the promoters are in jail. They seem to be very happy there with no intention of wanting to come out. There's nothing moving on Unitech despite Supreme Court's intervention. Vivek, what happened there?
Yeah, things are moving very slowly actually, Manisha. Even in Apex Court, we are there now almost for 2 years. And after...
Is it that the wheels of justice are slow? Is that, which is what my opening link was? Or do you see that there is a lack of political will?
There is.
Okay.
Yeah, there is definitely lack of political will also. And in court also, things are moving very, very slow. Over a period of more than 1 year, we were struggling, and then finally, even forensic audit was ordered, but after a long, long wait. And we don't know if things are being, things are going really slow.
Okay.
And not clear at all.
Not clear at all. Very disappointing for the home buyers. Sunil Tyagi, you're fighting on behalf of several home buyers, both in JP and Unitech cases, maybe in Amrapali cases as well. There definitely seems to have been some movement. There are, you have a housing minister who constantly comes up and says, we understand the pain of the home buyer. We've given him these multiple forums for resolution. But you look at RERA, or you look at even the IBC process, or what Supreme Court, I mean, these are the 3 forums that a home buyer will go to. None of them have resulted in a home for the home buyer as of now. And we've passed through 4.5 years of NDA government.
That's true. both the acts, RERA and IBC, have come in the last 4 or 5 years, and things have started moving. Yet there is no resolution. So there is a lot of complexity involved. The union government passed the legislation, but the state governments are supposed to provide infrastructure for RERA. Most of the states had only designated temporary authorities, which were only allowed only for 1 year period. And most of the temporary authorities are still functioning. And in one case in Rajasthan, both the authority and the tribunal's operation was stayed because they don't have jurisdiction after 1 year. They are still operating, and many states, this is the situation. In UP, it is under challenge, and many states will face this. So unless the state governments take proactive action, provide infrastructure for appointment of permanent authorities, for execution of their orders, this will not going to improve. Okay. We need good infrastructure, good implementation.
So good on paper, but very, very poor in implementation. And this is an act passed by the central government. Even BJP state-led or BJP-led governments have not implemented it well at all. That is the verdict out there. Sameer Jasuja, I mean, having multiple forums, have to give to this government that it definitely came out with the RERA Act, notified it. It also had a resolution for home buyers under IBC. There is Supreme Court, which looks like it is aware of the pain of the home buyers, but the resolution is completely missing. What's your take?
Well, Manisha, my view is that really the government can't do much about it. You can do much with respect to putting a developer in jail, but it's clearly been seen that even if you do that, your projects are not going to get constructed faster, or buyers are not going to get their homes faster. I think our judicial reform process needs a complete revamp. I myself have been fighting multiple cases either in the IBC or as a home buyer in the National Consumer Forum. It takes 7 to 10 years for an open and shut case to get resolved, and that too then the developer can go to the Supreme Court. So I think that's the big problem here, that the judicial reform is suffering in a very big way in terms of delay. Justice delayed is really justice denied over here.
Hold your thought there. You're saying that this is a larger question of judicial reforms. Would you agree with that, Abhishek, that, I mean, government couldn't have hastened the process or fast-tracked this process at all?
So I'll just, juxtapose this case to the Jet case. So recently, within a period of 60 days, SBI got the founder of Jet Airways and his wife to step down, got the investors director, Etihad's director, to step down from the board of Jet, and they took control, and SBI is now running an airline, all within a span of not more than 60 days. So if there was intent, government could have very well, done that with the Amrapali, JP or Unitech cases, but they have not.
In Unitech case, the government actually made a bid to take it over, suspecting a lot of fraud, and then backtracked. I mean, we questioned it, home buyers questioned it. Even today, there's no clarity on what is going to come out of the forensic audit, and if there is fraud established, will the government actually take it over?
Absolutely, you're right, Manisha. Actually, government took that step very half-heartedly. It was not a full-hearted step taken, because matter was under siege in Supreme Court. Supreme Court was hearing the matter. Still, government went to NCLT for takeover. Government should have taken first permission from Supreme Court, and then they should have approached NCLT.
Okay.
That was the technical thing because of which that effort of government failed.
So you feel it was a half-hearted effort?
It was completely half-hearted effort. Yeah.
What is the resolution now? I mean, what do you do? There is a clamor from CREDAI saying that why don't you give us a stress fund to complete all of these stuck projects? Do you think that's the answer?
The number of projects you mentioned, I don't know how many projects, if government wants to take over, it can take over.
So it will open a Pandora's box, and that is not the option.
So, but there is a RERA provision where the buyers can take over projects. If the registration is cancelled, buyers can take over projects. There is a mechanism provided in the Act itself, but it has to be implemented and take it forward from there.
So Sunil Tyagi, your position is that if you just give RERA its teeth, the resources to get implemented, that would be good enough to get all of these stuck projects a resolution?
Yes.
But why are home buyers then choosing more and more to go to IBC? I mean, is it because of the manpower? Sameer, what's your solution to it? We are going to have a new government come into power, or a continuation of the government. What should elected leaders really do?
Manisha, we have to then break this problem down into 3 buckets really. So when we talk about RERA has been literally a very good institution that has been set up. It's going to take time for it to get its teeth, but it's very good with respect to all the projects that are going to be launched in future. So anything that is getting launched today, is as per RERA guidelines, and those guidelines are pretty decent, and people are scared of RERA with respect to new projects. With respect to the projects which are of the past, which are yet not constructed, which are stalled, the problem is different. The developer does not have the money. He has transferred the money. What is RERA going to do? At best can put him behind bars, but that is just not the solution. The solution has to be with respect to the consumers coming in, taking over the project and then completing it, because their underlying asset is there and they will recover some monies. But what is really happening is that the developer is working against the consumer also and ensuring that that also doesn't happen. And like many people say, all the system is managed very beautifully. The IBC system works very well, but now the Supreme Court has put a stay on this, because all these developers, have put a lot of their cash equity in their development companies, and they don't want to let those companies go. They are holding important land banks which are of some value. Yes, they are not liquid, but they have some value. And that's why IBC is scaring the developers. I myself have taken a few developers to IBC. These developers would not take my calls, and suddenly the money starts to come in because they don't want to lose their company. So that's a great, I think, law which has come into place, except that Supreme Court for the moment is trying to modify it also rightfully, because what some consumers are doing is, and investors are doing is, are saying that please give us our money back in a project that has also got completed, which is not fair to the developer. If the prices have come down, where is he going to get the money from to give you back your money if the prices have come down?
There was a landmark judgment yesterday, wasn't it, on that front, where Supreme Court in EMAR case actually held that position that if the project is delayed, even if it's completed, the buyer can ask for a refund and get that refund. We'll continue this conversation. What must the new elected leaders do, or can they actually do anything to alleviate the pain of the home buyers? Or is it the home buyers themselves who have to change their thinking, not think about things like Nota, but figure out another way to get their homes completed? Stay with us. Why are stuck home buyers not any closer to getting their homes than they were in May 2014 when the Modi government came to power? What has gone amiss, and how can the new elected leaders fix it? Abhishek Dubey, you talked about JET resolution, or at least the resolution tryout. You're saying that maybe perhaps if they had done a similar or taken similar actions in JP case, you would have by now seen at least construction starting. Is that going forward, though, that's not the process which you're following now? What is it that you'd like to see from both the center and the state government, which is UP?
So basically, there have to be long-term reforms for the whole, the whole sector.
I thought RERA was a long-term reform. It hasn't happened.
So exactly. Actually, RERA has to be given enough teeth so that it is functional, and the state authorities have to be notified. The enforcement has to happen. And also, apart from this, I also feel that the home buyers will have to be cautious. The buyer has to be aware, and my advice would be, do not buy under construction apartments. Only
even
buy
in new RERA registered projects. That's what I'm hearing, Sunil Tyagi, that people are still not comfortable. I mean, Samir Jasuja spoke about the fact that for current registered projects under RERA, new projects, you should not worry. Is that so?
See, you should not worry. As Abhishek also said, enforcement is required. All the authorities are supposed to update the project details quarterly basis on their website, which hasn't started in most of the authorities. So how will the buyer be comfortable? If I have bought something today, I should access information on website and see what is the progress of my project, how many units sold, constructed, but everything is not available. Except registration, we have not moved forward from there.
And what about implementation per se? I mean, there are not enough number of people in state RERAs to actually go and check what is the status on ground. So that's another one. That's a big one,
whatever
right?
information the developer has provided, still not verified. They have just provided and accepted.
Implementation has to be the big focus of the new elected government. All right. Vivek Tyagi, you have a situation where promoters are probably going to spend 7 years in jail, come out sitting or being very happy about the fact that we've done our sentence and we still haven't had to give homes. What do you do in that case? Are you open to taking over your apartment buildings and building them?
We are very much open for that, taking over the project also, but there are so many hitches. Like builder has taken EDC, IDC charges from us, but they have not deposited with the government. Actually, problem starts with the government. And I want to start by saying that, you know, even Modi ji talk about public partnership. When we go in loss, when we earn profit and company earns profits, government takes share in that profit. But when today there are so many companies who are in loss, we are in loss, Homebuyers in loss, all right? But we are paying our taxes still.
Okay.
But government is not doing that partnership now. Why not partner in our losses also? Partner in the losses of companies also, in the citizens' losses also.
So you're saying that give a stress fund to complete these projects?
Absolutely.
Is that your position?
Absolutely, that is my position. And also, Manisha, I want to mention one more point here. See, problem started from the very beginning only. Projects were launched by taking license from the government. Now, there is nobody in government, in town planning department, who is ready to take responsibility with accountability. Responsibility without accountability is like no responsibility at all. License were given to builders. Builders have taken money. They have siphoned off all the money, but nothing is done on the ground. Barren land is lying over there. All the money is siphoned off. Money is collected from home buyers. Money is collected from FD customers. No salary is paid to employees. It's a complete fraud. All the land is mortgaged. Where is all the money gone?
Okay. Samir, do you believe that there should be, I mean, you know, collectively, the figure that you've given us is pretty huge in terms of what is stuck in value, 4 lakh crore rupees. It's not a small amount. It is, do you believe that there needs to be a lot more attention from both the state governments and the central government in getting this resolution done? They talk about it around the election time. They meet voters. They actually promise them. That's what happened last year. Is last elections, you had lots of, contestants actually meeting home buyers, promising them an early resolution, but nothing really happens.
So first of all, Manisha, the number that we've given is actually half of what the real problem is. The problem
I wish you'd given us the real number, then 8 lakh crores. That's a much larger number.
It's going to be above 10 lakh crores if you combine what the problems the NBFCs are facing today as well, which is all getting hidden under the carpet as we speak today, and more long-term loans are being taken in order to circumvent the problem that is there facing them today. So the number is much larger, and it's going to get larger with the 2019, which is going to be the highest year for completion, is also going to see many projects that are still not going to get completed. So that is one issue. Yes, I am quite clueless with respect to why the government is not willing to resolve this. And if the government actually put its mind to resolving it, you know, there is a lot of money to be made for the government in terms of EDC, IDC, which is stuck. There's a lot of money to be made by the consumer because he will get ready homes which are saleable, even at maybe at cost to cost, but they are saleable compared to owning illiquid assets that are just rotting away. For the developer, it's a beneficial thing because he'll be able to pay back some of his loans. The NBFCs will be able to recover some monies. If the government really should actually have the will and actually put together a crack team or a crack department for this whole piece of construction properties of the past to be completed in the next 2 years, I think it's going to benefit the economy tremendously in tens of billions of dollars. But nobody's putting their mind to it. It's very unfortunate.
Nobody's putting their mind to it. Is that the final verdict here?
I would say if you are not implementing the RERA completely, state authorities are not taking action to implement it. You're not serious about it. You're not putting your full effort. It's a half-hearted effort. Just legislation has been passed, but without any implementation.
Do you believe that the nexus between politics or politicians and real estate has been broken after the coming of RERA, making Benami Act more stringent, demonetization? Is that the sense that you get, Vivek?
Broken means government is still protecting builders.
Okay. You still have that sense that government is protecting builders?
Government is protecting builders. It's very much visible from their actions, and actions speak louder than words.
Okay.
So, for example, in the JP case, the Gores have not been like behind bars, and Supreme Court wanted to get 2,000 crores out of it, and even Supreme Court was not able to do that. They deposited just 750 crores, and they are still in this fresh round of bidding. They have again provided.
So there are a
bid.
lot of unexplained or unanswered questions in most of these Supreme Court judgments, or the way the promoters are being dealt with. There is no clear path. Sunil Tyagi, legally, if you were to look at all of these cases, do you make any sense of all the confusing verdicts which come out of this?
So the path which is being followed currently in IBC and RERA, nowhere we see a easier and expeditious resolution. Everywhere it is going to take years, it seems. From the verdict we've seen in Supreme Court or NCLT or in RERA, I don't see any projects being resolved and handed over to buyers which are stuck in these proceedings before 3-4 years.
Okay, in JP case, because that's the one which has moved quite a bit under IBC, you will get your homes in 3 years. Is there hope?
Yeah, so, you know, once this gets resolved, so IBC time period is 270 days, and if it gets resolved, then you know, the existing bidders have said that, yeah, the new bids have come in. The revised bids had to come.
Revised bids.
Yeah,
yes.
so NVCC had put in a very, very conditional bid initially, and it was asked to revise the bid because conditional bids are not allowed under the IBC process. So that has taken 4 weeks now. It has not come until now, and it appears something has happened in the background. We are not aware what has happened. So we are still waiting.
Why would you not take Unitech to NCLT? Because it's in Supreme Court and the Supreme Court won't allow it.
No, that is not the case, Manisha. See, the case is, Manisha, let's just understand again from the very beginning. We have given money to Unitech. Unitech has mortgaged our land also. Unitech has looted again FD customers also, not paid salary to employees also.
Right.
Where is all the money gone? That is the first thing.
Well, it's got siphoned off. We have to agree to that. It's got siphoned off.
But if we go to NCLT, we will have to take haircut. That is not our fault. If company has gone in loss, if our money is siphoned off, money is misappropriated, why should we go to NCLT and take a haircut?
I think the buyers also have, you know, varying objectives here. I mean, for example, this group says we will not be willing to take a haircut, which in any way, if you don't get your apartments for another 5 years, is akin to taking a very, very big haircut.
For the very simple reason, Manisha, we are not investors. We are consumers. It was our hard-earned money. We want our dream home. If that is not possible, builder has siphoned off our money, misappropriated our money. We invested in the #2 company of India. Unitech was #2 company of India. It is government's responsibility.
So the rot has not, I mean, it's not been cleaned up. I truly believe what we are hearing today is that the rot is not cleaned up from the real estate sector, despite demonetization, RERA and IBC, where the home buyers can go. A lot more needs to be done on implementation front when it comes to the government, and maybe have a special department, special enforcement agency, which is going to look at, you know, all of these cases and help resolution. Abhishek Dubey, Sunil Tyagi, Sameer Jasuja and Vivek Tyagi, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to wrap out here, and of course we will bring you another big burning urban water issue in our next episode of Urban Reality. Stay with the channel.